Hi, hello, எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம். இது உங்களுடைய நிஷான் ஜுமுதீன், your educated unacademy, an expert in Indian economy, current affairs and MCQs. So today if you see, we are starting a new series called as Most Important Economy Topics, which is very useful for the upcoming UPSC Prelims 2021. 60 days, 60 important hit list exam-oriented economy topics will be discussed in just 10 minutes. So this is actually a regular economy booster series which will happen at 7 p.m. in our Namma IAS Academy. 7 to 7:10 p.m. That's it. You're going to get the entire economy current affairs and the concepts of the important hit list topic in this short span of time. So get ready for this regular ritual series, guys. And today if you see, we have an interesting topic which is none other than quantitative easing. So what is that? It is indeed one of the most important topic from the area of monetary economics. We all know that monetary economics itself, or let's say monetary policy as far as UPSC syllabus is concerned, is a very important area with regard to your UPSC prelims 2021. So now, this particular topic called as QE, or let's say quantitative easing, is none other than the unconventional, or let's say non-traditional policy of your RBI. So now we all know that when there is inflation, that is a price rise, or when there is excess of money supply or no money supply, the RBI, that is the central bank of our country, will definitely use a load of instruments like bank rate, open market operations, repo rate, reverse repo rate, CRR, SLR, etc. Why? To control the money supply, or to inject more money into the economy, or to control inflation, right? So these are called as traditional instruments of monetary policy or credit control. But now when these traditional instruments fail, we got to think about something called as unconventional, or let's say non-traditional policy or tools. And now in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic, we had to resort to such kind of measures because the entire economy was affected with no money supply at all. So what will the government do? Here comes the thought of introducing this concept called as quantitative easing. So now I can tell you that this QE, or let's say quantitative easing, what is that? It is nothing but an unconventional monetary policy tool, and the sole objective is nothing but to increase money supply. Now the central bank of your country, that is RBI, what they will do is they'll target the money supply, and they'll do that by either buying, that is purchasing, or selling the government bonds. That's how they try to infuse money into the economy. And this is the meaning of QE, or let's say quantitative easing in simple terms. Many a times, people tend to get confused with regard to what is this topic all about. But there is nothing to be confused, guys. All the other confusing terms associated with this particular topic will also be discussed in today's class. Now, don't you think so? When the economy is completely in a standstill position, or when we are entering recession, that is slowing down of economic activities, now it is very important for the central bank, that is RBI, to encourage economic growth. So what they will do? They'll start buying the government bond. When the RBI is buying the government bonds from the open market, money flows from RBI to the economy. So automatically money supply is increasing, or I can tell you that there is an injection of money supply into the economy, which is indeed the objective. And now when there is an increase in money supply, automatically the interest rates will come down and the economy will start functioning normally. And thus, if you see, not only RBI, which is central bank of our country, India, even the central bank of US, called as Federal Reserve Bank, the European Central Bank, they also adopted the same policy called as quantitative easing in the context of lack of money supply in the economy in the crisis situation, just because they wanted to boost up their respective economies. So now in the context of COVID-19 pandemic, as an emerging economy, India is affected to a greater extent. Don't you think so? Yes, it is. So அதனால நம்ம கண்டிப்பா எக்கானமில மணி சப்ளை இன்க்ரீஸ் பண்ணதா செய்யணும் இல்லையா? So that is why this particular concept was introduced. Clear? Now let me quickly tell you another important point about this QE. Now there are so many cases, when lending is affected, and that is the time when you feel, chalo, there is a need for something called as QE or quantitative easing. So what are the cases? Here we go, which shows that there is a need for such kind of QE or unconventional monetary policy tool. One is when the interest rate has literally been reduced to nearly zero. And now this could either be because of two reasons. One is deflation. Deflation means when there is a drastic reduction in the price of commodities or extremely low demand, money demand. And second is when there are large number of bad loan or let's say non-performing or defaulted loans. Automatically, there will not be much of money supply in the economy. Banks will be scared to inject more money into the market because we all know that when there is a bad loan or NPA, non-performing assets, the profitability or the stability of the entire banking system, especially the public sector banking, get affected, right? So they will not even think of giving money to the public again. So we will need something called as QE there, which is an unconventional monetary policy tool, and thus you can very well relate to the current COVID-19 pandemic where the economy was entering into a recession. What is recession? Slowing down of economic activities, which we experienced, right? And now if you do not take care of recession, the employment will go, there will not be any investment, there will not be any sort of progress. Automatically, the condition will become terrible and the economy will end up in depression, which is way more pathetic, I can say. In all these situations, to bring the economy back to track and to avoid further consequences, we need quantitative easing. Not only QE, but also several other instruments as such. Clear? But then, there is another important notion among the people that QE is not it's printing currency. Let me tell you something. Printing of new currency is called as deficit financing. That is when there is a deficit or gap, you got to finance it. So printing of currency is one option which the RBI does on behalf of the government of India as per the advice to inject money supply. Now this QE is not the same thing. See, this QE or let's say quantitative easing, they has been nicknamed as printing money by some members of media. Maybe because they do not have much of idea about it. This is actually a wrong statement. Okay, let me tell you that. Printing new currency is nothing but one of the options I can tell you, which is available under deficit financing. And that is also called as what? Monetizing the government debt. So you should never even think of confusing the concept quantitative easing with what? With printing currency. They are two different things. Because your QE, what are they? They are the way in which the RBI will try to inject money supply into the economy through purchase of government bonds in the market, or let's say government or financial securities from the open market. That is what they do. Clear? Now, another important point is that there is a term called associated with QE, which is creating new money. See, though the creation of money is better wording for the process, it does not convey the true picture of the story. So again, saying that creating new money doesn't make a sense with regard to the concept called as quantitative easing. Clear? So now the RBI, though the central bank is purchasing assets from commercial bank, it normally does not involve printing of any new currencies. So now the factor called money creation, they are done by a means of asset swap. That is why I said you QE or quantitative easing is what? It is nothing but it involves the use of printed money by the RBI central bank to buy the government bonds by the RBI from the open market. That is how they'll try to inject money supply, because when when RBI is buying the securities from the open market, that is government or the financial security, automatically money goes from RBI to the economy. So money supply increases. That is the logic here. And one more thing, many times people tend to get confused with helicopter money and QE. See, helicopter money and quantitative easing, they are both unconventional monetary policy tools or instruments. The objective of both helicopter money and also QE is to inject money supply. But in the context of helicopter money, money will be distributed among the public by the government to increase money supply. In QE, that is not the case. They are purchasing securities to inject money supply. That is the major difference. Clear? But still, as we all know, everything has a positive and a negative side, right? So does the quantitative easing as well. There are a few problems associated. What are they? For example, through the so-called QE, okay, if the money supply is increasing very fast, now the so-called quantitative easing can even lead to higher rate of inflation. Now everybody is having too much of money with us. So what we do? Our purchasing capacity increases. So we tend to purchase everything. So slowly what happened? Too much of money will start chasing too few goods. That is the factor called inflation. The continuous or the persistent rise in general price level will happen. So no matter you used to buy 1 kg of tomato for 20 rupees also, now the same 1 kg of tomato will cost you 100 rupees. So what is the profit? Nothing. So that is another disadvantage. So the real notion of you introducing quantitative easing is to increase money supply. and that should be available among all the people. But after increasing money supply, if inflation is happening, then there is no point. That is what is said that in Malayalam there is a famous wording, okay? Amidamayalam Amrita Visham. That is, too much of a good thing is also bad. So keep it in balance. That is the best thing. That is what I can tell you in the context of QE. That is quantitative easing. So now in such kind of situations, for example, when too much of money supply because of QE, tool used by RBI is leading to inflation, now the banks will decide, the commercial banks will decide to keep the funds generated by the QE in reserve. They will not even lend those to individuals because the purpose in which quantitative easing tool was introduced is failing. That is why they'll do this. Clear? And thus, the potential to destroy the confidence in economy happens. Central bank can even lose money, and sometimes it will not work as what we expected. So these are the problems of QE as well. So that's what you should know with regard to the topic or the concept called as quantitative easing with regard to the consumption plus the current affairs perspective. So thank you so much, my young officers. So don't forget to like, share, comment, and also subscribe this channel for more interesting series by we top educators at Unacademy. So stay tuned tomorrow at 7 p.m. with another interesting topic, guys, for just 10 minutes. And don't forget to put forward your comments in the comment box of this video, and make sure that whatever doubts you have or whatever topics you want me to take, just put it down in the comment box. Thank you and Jai Hind.